Hey YouTube, welcome back to Tinker Tools. Tonight we got a brand new drill from Makita, so let's go ahead and get into that on Tinker with Tools. Alright, so here is the kit that we have in front of us. Now this kit is model number XT296ST. They do offer this drill in two different kits. The other one I'll have down on the screen. The one I have here comes with the brand new XPH16, a not so new XTT14, two 5 amp hour batteries. The other kit, which when I was looking at it was only $10 less than this kit. The only difference I could see between the two kits is that one came with a 4 amp hour and a 2 amp hour battery. And so for $10, even though I wanted to try it potentially with a smaller battery, and right now all I have is 5 amp hour batteries, it just didn't make much sense that for $10 less I got significantly less battery, so I went with the bigger kit. This is a hammer drill. It does have markings on it where you would expect to see an auxiliary handle attached, but there is no auxiliary handle in the box. Now, when this one got announced, being a model XPH16, I think a lot of us instantly thought that this was going to be the replacement for the XPH14. So when they started calling this a compact hammer drill, in my mind it was going to be smaller than that. The overall dimensions, we'll try and get a close-up of this, are actually quite similar to the XPH14. But this is not a tiny compact drill like maybe what I had pictured in my head. I don't know what you thought it was going to be, but in my head I thought it was going to be smaller because this is a less powerful drill than the XPH14. So I don't see this as something that's going to replace the XPH14 necessarily, but more so be a compact, less expensive option for those looking to get into it but don't need all that power. The specs on this is 970 inch-pounds of torque. That is down considerably from the XPH14, and all the other specs also follow downward a little bit. So it is a less powerful, compact, but really not that compact compared to its bigger brother, hammer drill. Now, if it feels like I'm talking it down, I think that's because my first impression of it being less powerful is, well, it's going to be smaller, so it's okay that it's less powerful. But if it's not that much smaller, and it's less powerful, then it just feels like I'm getting less of everything. Now let's go ahead and talk about this impact driver real quick. It does have a setting for hard, medium, and soft, and its traditional speeds, and then it does have a tightening mode as well. It does just have a single light underneath there. There is no quick shift button like you do get on some of the more premium impact drivers. But overall, the specs are actually pretty similar to what you're getting on more of their more premium, more recent impact drivers. Both with the drill and the impact driver, I feel like you're getting less than what you would if you went for that top tier kit, but not necessarily a reduction in size, which is oftentimes why people go with a compact kit to begin with. All right, so now that we've kind of given you an introduction to both tools, we'll just kind of run through some very quick, simple tests just to kind of get a feel for the performance of both tools and try and find out, is this something that you need to consider if you're on the Makita lineup, or is this a viable option if you're not and you want a premium feeling drill but not necessarily need that top tier power? So 1.5 inches, it's cutting out very quickly. I put it down on speed 1. All right, so you've just seen some basic introductory testing. The purpose of this is not to run this drill through a complete gamut of tests, but more to kind of understand it as a first impression. The DeWalt DCD 805 and 800 are perfect examples of compact XR drills for the DeWalt lineup that are plenty powerful and do a really great job, but they're so much smaller than their larger 996 drill. Now, when it comes to Makita drills, it might actually shock you, but the XPH16 is actually not that long of a drill. For whatever reason, when you look at this drill, this is the XPH14, this seems like a larger drill, in my opinion. When you use it, it does feel very well balanced, and that balance helps hide some of, in my opinion, the bulk that you're getting, especially when you're comparing to another premium brand such as Milwaukee. The Milwaukee Gen 4, for example, is a little bit shorter than that XPH16, and it is noticeably lighter. So a compact drill, but still powerful enough to get the job done, like that DCD 805, does, in my opinion, make quite a bit of sense for a company to release. As I've kind of already shown you, when you get the drill out of the box, you could mistake this drill for its bigger brother, the XPH14. Yes, this drill is smaller. It is shorter in overall length. It is not as tall when they're both sitting on a 5 amp hour battery. It really does seem like they shrunk the drill mostly back in the motor, and obviously that's probably part of the reason why there is less power coming out of this drill. But overall, this did not necessarily become something that I would refer to as a compact drill. It still feels fairly big and heavy, but if you do compare it to, say, the Milwaukee Gen 4, they do appear to be roughly the same length, but that Milwaukee drill packs quite a bit of power into that smaller frame. So I think maybe a better comparison for this would be how it compares to the DCD 805. And when you put that drill on the scales, that comes in 5 ounces lighter than this still. All right, Future Taylor here. Sorry for holding the mic. I didn't want to get all mic'd up just to do this quick little bit. As I was editing, I came across a comment where someone compared this to the XPH12 and said that's what it seemed like it was the replacement for, not the 14. I do agree with that to a certain degree. The XPH12 was their compact hammer drill, and if you put the two next to each other, one looks substantially more like the XPH14, the other one looks like a much more compact and lighter duty model. But I think weight is really where this one feels more like the XPH14. That one with a battery was 4 pounds. This one with a battery is 4 pounds, 11 ounces. So because it feels significantly more substantial, they've got an all-metal chuck versus the plastic one on the XPH12. You are getting more in the territory of it feeling like the XPH14 than the older 12. Now this drill is technically smaller than that one. It is about a 1/4 inch shorter in length. The weight obviously gets bigger. So with this kit, you are getting an improvement in the drill in terms of power and the impact driver in terms of features, because that one didn't have any different speed modes or anything like that. So if you're upgrading from there, that does seem like a little bit of an upgrade for you, certainly, and it is going to be a much more powerful and robust drill. Just use that with some context. I appreciate the person who commented that, and on with the video. But at the end of the day, this is still a Makita drill. And if you like using a Makita drill, I think you're going to like using this drill. It's just not going to be as peppy and powerful as their top tier model. And the drill has every feature that the XPH14 does. It is just a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter, and it is about 25% less powerful. So instead of being able to buzz through stuff in speed 2, you might find yourself dropping down to speed 1 more often. But overall, you're getting the fit and finish of the Makita hammer drill. And so if that's something that you like, if that's something you go for, that is certainly something that's going to appeal to you here. If you are the trade professional who is used to using a more powerful hammer drill, I don't know that this one gives you enough compactness to necessarily make it worth your while to go out and go to this drill. If you're someone who's been a little bit further down in the Makita product line, using, say, one of their entry-level brushless items or doing something like that, and you want to step up, this can be a way to step up to a more premium feeling drill with basically the same fit and finish, just not as powerful, and you're doing it at a reduced cost. You're not getting the auxiliary handle, which is something that on some of those things that we are doing today would have been nice to have further control on it. Now, if you already have the XPH14, the auxiliary handle does work on this drill, so you could use it for both, but it's not something you're going to get on your own. Now, the Makita charger that you do get with this, it is going to be a smaller, more compact charger, but with that comes a reduction in power. So I wouldn't necessarily expect to be charging anything super fast with the included charger, And that is going to be one other thing where you're getting a little bit less with this kit than you could be getting elsewhere. So at the end of the day, how would I rate the overall value of this kit? I think for people who have not been on Makita before and aren't sure they want to go dip their toe in full scale, I think this is a great way to do it because it does get you really premium feeling tools. For someone who's going to be using it within its limits, I certainly think it is a nice feeling drill and I think it does a good job. But if you're someone who's already in Makita's lineup or already has the XPH14, I don't think it necessarily makes as much sense to go out and get the 16 because the reduction in size is just not that great. So unless the 5 extra ounces is really the deal breaker for you on that tool, I just don't think this one is noticeably smaller enough to really benefit you in a meaningful way. As I mentioned at the first of this video, I do want you to go ahead and leave in the comments down below the things you'd like to see this drill compared against. I already have a few drills in mind, but I want to see what you want to see it compared against, and we'll see if we can't make that happen. There's a lot of those mid-tier premium drills. I don't necessarily have hammer drill variants of all of them, but that is something that I would like to be able to see and see how it compares to those, so you really can get a fair idea of how this drill stacks up. Go ahead and leave those in the comments down below. If you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to continue to support the channel. I really do appreciate the support of each one of you. So there you have it, the brand new Makita XPH16. Until next time, I'll catch you on Tinker with Tools.